So I just finished listening to the audiobook of 1776 by David McCullough. I'm gonna give this 4 out of 5 stars. But before we get started, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button and share this video. I appreciate you. And if you have any book recommendations, drop them in the comments and I'll try my best to get to them. If you don't know what the book is about, well, it's about the year 1776, obviously. But to be more specific, it's about the start of the Revolutionary War. What I liked about this book was how it was written. It was very concise. It didn't dance around the bush, or he didn't try to paint a pretty picture with the words or anything like that. He was just straight to the point, and I love books like that. Also, what I loved about this book was how it showed the story from both sides of the fence. It didn't show it just from Americans' perspective, it also showed it from the British perspective. You know, it showed like what the military on one side was doing at the same time the military on the other side was doing. So I really like that because you get the whole picture like with stories like that. Also, what I loved about this book was the fact that it was history, because I love history. I love books about history, mainly because I like learning stuff, right? What I learned in this book was all about George Washington and how he led his army and the different strategies that the military used and stuff to defeat the British. Now, what I disliked about this book was how it focused on mostly just the military aspect of it all. You know, when I went into this book, I was expecting more, I guess. You know, and that's my fault. I take the blame for that. I just thought it would talk more about the events leading up to the war and how America got to that point, you know? Because you don't just go to war overnight. But, you know, hey, like I said, that's my fault, though. I should have read more into the book and what it was actually about. But don't let that take away from you reading it, though, okay? The other thing I didn't like about this, and this only applies to the audiobook, was the actual narration. The audiobook was actually read by the author, which surprised me because I didn't think the author did a good job in narrating it. He had a very monotone voice and it just sounded very boring. It really bored me at times, I'm gonna be honest, you know? I think this would have been a book that I would have enjoyed a lot more if I actually read the actual book instead of listening to the audiobook. And it's rare that I say that because I love listening to audiobooks. But I just think this was one of those books I should have just read, you know, like the actual physical book or the ebook or something instead. I would definitely recommend this book, especially if you love history and you love learning stuff. I would definitely give this a thumbs up. Go ahead and check it out, all right? 1776 by David McCullough.